I am so glad that in the past 10 years, I managed to not watch Interstellar until this week. Because Interstellar came back to theaters and I had the immense pleasure to go watch it in IMAX with surround sound, and it was a spiritual experience. I don't know how I managed to evade all the major plot twists of the movie for 10 years, especially being a physicist, but it just happened that I did not know what was going on in the movie, which made it all the better. For the past 10 years, people would tell me, how have you not seen Interstellar? What's your favorite movie? How is it not Interstellar? And I would always tell them, look, I love the music from Interstellar. I just never had the time to go watch it. And I need to really dedicate 3 hours of my day just to sit down and watch a movie. And sometimes that's really hard. So for the past 10 years, I just never found the time to actually go watch Interstellar on a regular TV with regular speakers. And I'm so glad that I did not do that. The entire movie was a masterpiece. From the get-go, the way the story unfolds, the relationship between the family, the father and the daughter, and how it eventually comes back at the end. I mean, they start with it. It's right in your face. You never realize it until the very end. The way Cooper's in the Tesseract communicating with his daughter Murph, all this time it was him, and it's not clear. I mean, I watched it having no knowledge at all of what's going on, and I didn't know what the plot twist was. I mean, until the very end when he enters the black hole, and then it all just clicks and it makes sense. And you know what? Science fiction sometimes it irritates physicists because they don't like science fiction. They don't like all the incorrect science. But let me tell you, the way Interstellar weaves together science fiction with real science is truly a masterpiece. The way they weave together the physics of black holes, which, by the way, is rendered on probably supercomputers, the way they are really modeling a black hole according to Einstein's field equations. And the person who was in charge of making all these calculations correct and looking over the calculations was the 2017 Nobel Prize winner, Kip Thorne, who, by the way, attended Wayne State University for a lecture. Not attended, but he went there to give a lecture. And I was there, and I was in the audience watching Kip Thorne talk about Interstellar, and I managed to evade the plot twist there as well, because he was talking about all the work he was doing to make sure the black hole looked like what it would like if you use Einstein's equations. So even with that, I managed to evade all the plot twists. And as the movie unfolds, they really weave together the ideas of wormholes and black holes and time dilation, the way they accurately try to incorporate the time dilation effects, where Cooper spends about 3 hours on that planet, but to other people, they aged like 23 years or something. And that is all correct according to Einstein's theory of relativity. And in fact, we see this all the time at laboratories where I work at CERN. You have to factor in time dilation effects and relativistic effects to get the calculations correct. So it's not like we don't know if these effects are real. We know they're real. Your GPS, for example, requires correcting for time dilation effects. So we know these effects are real. But to put it in such a perspective at the human level, where the father comes back to see his own daughter, which is older than him, and then he has to watch her pass away. That was just heart-wrenching, and it just had me bawling my eyes out in the theater. And thankfully it was dim, no one could see me, but I'm so glad that I got to see Interstellar in theaters. And you know what, if you haven't seen Interstellar and you're in the US, I don't know if it's playing in different countries, but if you're in the US, you should go watch Interstellar, like right now. Like, drop what you're doing, book some tickets, go watch Interstellar, because by far my favorite movie ever. And my favorite movie used to be The Prestige, which is also a Christopher Nolan movie. But that just tells you how incredible Christopher Nolan is with his direction. So yeah, that's my review. I mean, it's not very detailed, but you can see just how amazing and what an impact it had on me to watch Interstellar. Without any spoilers, as a physicist, appreciating all the science as well as the science fiction, as well as the story unfolding. Let me know what you think about Interstellar. Let me know in the comments if you watched it, if you haven't seen it, and leave a comment below.